อยู่ภายในบริเวณงานรวมไปถึงที่รับชมอยู่ทางออนไลน์ด้วยค่ะ
แล้วก็ยินดีต้อนรับทุกท่านนะครับเข้าสู่การแข่งขันของเรานะครับกับ Third SEA Games Thailand 2025 หรือว่าการแข่งขัน SEA Games ครั้งที่ 33 ซึ่งจัดขึ้นในประเทศไทยของพวกเรานั่นเองนะครับโดยทางไทยเนี่ยได้เป็นเจ้าภาพตั้งแต่วันที่ 9 จนถึงวันที่ 20 ธันวาคมนี้ถึงนี้รวมไปถึงการแข่งขันของเราในรอบนี้บอกเลยฮะว่ามีการชิงเหรียญต่างๆ มากมาย แต่ว่าตอนนี้ครับคุณอยู่กับพวกเราทั้งสองคนผมนายโปจิครับ
ยูกิเด็กยูค่ะรับหน้าที่เป็นพิธีกรนะคะตลอดการแข่งขันของวันนี้กันเลยทีเดียวค่ะและอย่างที่พี่โปจิบอกไปค่ะว่าเราทำการแข่งขันกันเนี่ยคือหลากหลายกีฬามากๆและคุณกำลังอยู่กับอีกหนึ่งกีฬาที่มาแรงที่สุดในตอนนี้นั่นก็คือ Electronic Sport หรือว่า e-sport นั่นเองค่ะซึ่งสำหรับสาขา e-sport ของเรานะคะจะทำการแข่งขันกันตั้งแต่วันที่ 13 จนถึงวันที่ 19 ธันวาคมนี้ค่ะสนามของเราเนี่ยอยู่ที่ศาลาพระเกี้ยวนะคะจุฬาลงกรณ์มหาวิทยาลัยแห่งนี้ค่ะ
โอเคนะฮะซึ่งสำหรับการแข่งขันของเราในครั้งนี้เนี่ยหลายๆคนอาจจะรู้สึกไม่ค่อยคุ้นชินนะครับว่าแล้วคำว่า e-sport เนี่ยแปลว่าอะไรยังไง
Electronic Sport ของเรานะคะก็คือพูดง่ายๆเป็นกีฬาที่เกี่ยวกับอุปกรณ์อิเล็กทรอนิกส์นั่นเองแล้วตอนนี้ก็เรียกได้ว่าเป็นหนึ่งในชนิดกีฬาทางการของ SEA Games 2025 แล้วค่ะ
แล้วก็ด้วยความที่เป็นทางการนี้นะฮะเราจะมีการชิงทั้งหมดอยู่ที่ 6 เหรียญทองนั่นเองนะครับสำหรับแคตตาล็อของ e-sport ครับโดยจะแบ่งออกมาเป็นทั้งหมด 4 เกมการแข่งขันครับโดยสำหรับ 4 เกมที่ว่านี้เกมแรกของเราเลยนะฮะที่เรากำลังใกล้จะแข่งขันกันแล้วกับ Mobile Legends Bang Bang นั่นเองครับโดยสำหรับเกม MLBB นะฮะก็จะเป็นเกมแนวโมบ้าบนมือถือนั่นเองนะครับเป็นลักษณะของ 5v5 แล้วก็ได้รับความนิยมในเซาท์อีสต์เอเชียของเราเป็นอย่างมากเลยทีเดียวโดยในแต่ละประเทศนะครับจะมีการส่งมา 2 ทีมนะครับเพื่อชิง 2 เหรียญก็คือจะเป็นแบบทีมชายแล้วก็ทีมหญิงนั่นเองครับ
และนอกจากนี้นะคะอีกหนึ่งเกมนะคะเรียกได้ว่าเป็นเกมโมบ้าขวัญใจคนไทยเป็นพิเศษเลยล่ะเพราะว่าเด็กไทยเนี่ยก็เก่งไม่ธรรมดานะคะนั่นก็คือ Arena of Valor นั่นเองหรือว่า AOV ค่ะซึ่งต้องบอกก่อนเลยว่าประเทศไทยของเราเนี่ยคว้าแชมป์เหรียญทองมา 2 สมัยติดแล้วปีนี้จะดูซิว่าจะเป็น Triple Champ หรือเปล่านะต้องรอคาดหวังกันแล้วในสาขานี้สำหรับเกมนี้ค่ะก็2 เหรียญทองเช่นเดียวกันค่ะคือมีประเภทชายแล้วก็ประเภทหญิงค่ะ
สำหรับเกมต่อไปกันดีกว่านะครับกับเกม Free Fire นั่นเองนะครับเกมที่เรียกได้ว่าได้รับความนิยมกันทั่วโลกกันเลยก็ว่าได้โดยจะเป็นลักษณะของเกม Battle Royale บนมือถือนะครับโดยจะเป็นหนึ่งในการแข่งขัน e-sport ที่เรียกได้ว่ามีผู้ชมสูงที่สุดเลยก็ว่าได้แล้วก็แต่ละทีมนะครับในแต่ละประเทศเองเนี่ยจะสามารถส่งได้ถึง 2 ทีมในการแข่งขันเกมนี้นั่นเองครับโดยจะใช้ระบบคะแนนนั่นเองนะฮะแล้วก็สำหรับการแข่งขันของเกม Free Fire จะชิงอยู่ที่ 1 เหรียญรางวัลครับ
ก็ต้องมารอลุ้นกันค่ะว่า who will be the team that last standing
บูย่า
บูย่าและที่สำคัญค่ะสุดท้ายแต่ไม่ท้ายสุดค่ะกับ FC ออนไลน์หรือ EA Sport นะคะ FC ออนไลน์นั่นเองค่ะเป็นหนึ่งเดียวเลยสำหรับการแข่งขัน e-sport ในครั้งนี้ที่เป็นแพลตฟอร์ม PC เราจะมาลุ้นกันค่ะเพราะว่าวันนี้เนี่ยเห็นนักกีฬาตั้งแต่เช้าแล้วโอ้โหสีหน้าแต่ละคนนี่บอกเลยว่าพร้อมทำการแข่งขันกันมากๆนะคะแล้วก็ที่สำคัญนะคะสำหรับการแข่งขันในครั้งนี้สำหรับ FC ออนไลน์เนี่ยก็มาอีก1 เหรียญทองเช่นเดียวกันค่ะ
เรียกได้เลยนะครับว่าแต่ละประเทศเองนี่ก็ส่งทีมที่ยอดเยี่ยมที่สุดของพวกเขามากันเพื่อมาชิงชัยในศึกชิงเหรียญของซีเกมของเราในครั้งนี้นั่นเองนะครับโดยสำหรับคนที่เป็นนักกีฬา e-sport เนี่ยมีเงื่อนไขต่างๆนะครับไม่ว่าจะเป็นทั้งจะต้องมีอายุ 16 ปีขึ้นไป แล้วก็ในแต่ละประเทศเองก็จะมีการส่งนักกีฬานะครับแล้วก็ส่งทีมการแข่งขันมาได้สูงสุดเนี่ยอย่าง Mobile Legends Bang Bang AOV Arena Valor นะครับหรือว่า FC Online เนี่ยจะส่งได้ประเทศละ1 ทีมในขณะที่ Free Fire เนี่ยจะสามารถส่งได้อยู่ที่2 ทีมนั่นเองนะครับแต่สำหรับวันนี้ฮะโอ้โหบอกเลยเดี๋ยวเรามาเปิดสนามกันกับ Mobile Legends Bang Bang
เรียกได้ว่าเปิดด้วยแบบว่าตัวตึงเกมตึง
ครับ
เพราะว่าเคยได้ยินว่า Ice Ball นะคะยอดวิวของ Mobile Legends Bang Bang สำหรับ C ของเราเนี่ยสูงเป็นอันดับต้นๆของเกมโมบายในแบบ global เลยนะ
ใช่แล้วนะครับแล้วมาดูกันดีกว่านะครับเพราะว่าสำหรับ MLBB เนี่ย เป็นเกมที่ได้รับความนิยมในเซาท์อีสต์เอเชียมากฮะผมไปประเทศไหนมาเพื่อนๆจะเล่นกันอยู่ตลอดเลยทีเดียว
ซึ่งต้องบอกก่อนนะคะว่าวันนี้เป็นวันแรกนะคะของการแข่งขันอย่างเป็นทางการของกีฬา e-sport สำหรับซีเกมครั้งที่ 33 ปี 2025 ในครั้งนี้ค่ะ
ใช่ครับแล้วสำหรับตัว Mobile Legends Bang Bang เนี่ยก็จะเป็นการแข่งขันกันเพื่อชิงถึง 2 เหรียญนะครับโดยจะเป็นทีมชายแล้วก็ทีมหญิงนั่นเองครับ
พี่โปจิคะแต่ยูกิอยากรู้กฎกติกาการแข่งขันค่ะ
แน่นอนครับสำหรับการแข่งขันของเราเนี่ยจะแบ่งออกมาเป็นทั้งหมด 2 รอบหลักๆเลยนะครับนั่นก็คือในส่วนของรอบกรุ๊ปสเตจที่เราก็จะทำการแข่งขันกันนั่นเองนะครับโดยสำหรับรอบกรุ๊ปสเตจเนี่ยก็จะเป็นการแบ่งกลุ่มการ2 กลุ่มหลังจากนั้นนะฮะก็จะหา 3 ทีมที่ดีที่สุดในแต่ละกรุ๊ปครับ
เป็น best of two หรือเปล่าเอ่ย
เป็น best of two ครับเพื่อเก็บคะแนนกันในกลุ่มโดยในแต่ละส่วนของแต่ละทีมเองเนี่ยจะต้องทำการแข่งขันกัน best of two แปลว่าอะไรแปลว่าคนชนะจะได้ในแต่จะเจอกันเนี่ย2 ครั้ง
เจอกัน2 ครั้ง
ต่อประเทศดังนั้นถ้าเกิดว่าเขาเจอกันเสร็จปุ๊บแล้วเขาชนะกี่ครั้งก็จะเก็บแต้มกันมาแล้วถ้าเกิดว่าทีมใดนะครับที่มีแต้มสูงสุด3 อันดับในแต่ละกรุ๊ปเนี่ยก็จะ advance เข้าสู่รอบ play-off นั่นเองนะครับ
ซึ่งรายละเอียดแบบยิบๆเลยเนี่ยพูดเลยว่าเดี๋ยวเราจะให้ชาวแคสเตอร์มากประสบการณ์ที่น่ารักของเรานะคะเป็นคนอธิบายอีกครั้งหนึ่งค่ะ
ใช่ครับแล้วก็สำหรับเกม Mobile Legends Bang Bang เนี่ยเป็นเกมที่วัดกันไม่ว่าจะเป็นทั้งเรื่องของการตัดสินใจการทำงานแบบทีมเวิร์กเพราะว่าสมาชิกในเกมเนี่ยจะต้องใช้ถึง5 คนต่อทีมนั่นเองครับการควบคุมพื้นที่แล้วก็จังหวะเข้ากระทำนั่นเองโดยสำหรับการแข่งขันในรอบกรุ๊ปสเตจของเราในวันนี้นะที่จะมาแข่งขันกันบนเวทีรวมไปถึงที่กำลังจะให้ทุกท่านที่อยู่ทางบ้านได้รับชมกันนั้นเนี่ยก็จะเป็นทั้งฝั่งของทางทีมไทยที่จะมาเจอกับทางติมอร์เลสเตจากนั้นก็จะไปกันที่กรุ๊ป B นะครับกับทางฟิลิปปินส์ที่จะไปเจอกับทางทีมประเทศลาวนั่นเองครับแล้วก็กลับมากับทางทีมไทยที่จะมาเจอกับเวียดนามแล้วสุดท้ายปิดวันกันกับทางฝั่งของมาเลเซียเจอกับอินโดนีเซียครับ
และในตอนนี้ค่ะทุกคนคะเรียกได้ว่าน่าจะพร้อมกันแล้วใช่ไหมคะที่จะไปเจอกับนักกีฬาของเราทั้ง2 ทีมค่ะ
โอ้โหมากันแบบนี้
ถ้าพร้อมกันแล้วค่ะก็ขอให้ทุกคนนะคะไปพบกับนักกีฬาทั้ง2 ทีมกันเลยตัวแทนทีมจากประเทศไทย
และตัวแทนจากติมอร์เลสเตครับและนี่ถือว่าเป็นคู่เปิดสนามของเราในวันนี้ในเกม FLBB นั่นเองครับ
They will set the fire up in here และแน่นอนค่ะทุกคนคะวันนี้อย่างที่บอกกันไปว่าเราได้รับเกียรตินะคะจากนักพากย์ระดับประเทศจะมาทำการนะคะพากย์กันแบบเรียลไทม์วิเคราะห์เกมกันแบบสดๆเลยและขอเสียงตบมือต้อนรับดรมาร์คและเบิร์ต
Welcome to the 33rd SEA Games 2025, hosted here in Thailand. You guys are watching the main broadcast for the Open Division, the men divisions of MLBB. My name is Rafael. Alongside with me is Leo at your service.
Always happy to be here, right at the heart of Bangkok, Thailand, from Chulalongkorn University. We're opening up the competition with a best of 2. I think our lovely hosts, Poji and Yuki, tried to explain. It's as simple as what the match result is. That is your points gain. Top 3 out of each group will be making it into the playoffs.
Yeah, we got Group A as well as Group B. And I feel like for today, most of the matches will be the Group A matches. So we'll see which 3 teams actually make it outside of the groups. Now, you guys saw the ones entering the stages now. It was Timor-Leste as well as Thailand. So that's going to be the opening match for this one.
They are facing off against the hosts. And if there's something I could say about these 2 teams is they are very hospitable people. I remember as far back as 2023 when Timor-Leste faced off against the Philippines. Again, you look up to any Filipino team when it comes to MLBB, and they handed them these traditional
Yeah.
friendship scarves.
Yeah,
Yes.
the scarves,
So
yeah.
I wonder if it's the same squad that brought it here, and if they're doing it right now on stage with our gracious hosts.
That's the thing about SEA Games, man. A lot of respect, but again, in the game itself, you got to show up because we got to remind ourselves it's a best of two. And this is one of those situations where in a best of three, the end result is the one that matters, right? So maybe you can have a cheese in game one or game two, but here you kind of got to lock in every single time because if you lose a game, you're losing a point, and more importantly, you're giving a point over to your opponents because we got to talk about how important it is to finish at the top of the groups because the top of the groups essentially means you're going to be missing one match, you're going to be waiting at the upper bracket. But for number 2 and number 3 teams, will fight cross Group A up against Group B. And Group B, like let's just say it as it is. It's kind of the group of death. You kind of want to avoid going up against the second team in Group B. So you want to go number 1 or number 2. Number 3, it's going to be pretty rough.
Any team you have to face off from Group B is a
Honestly,
threat. Let's
honestly,
call
yeah.
it a spade a spade. But that said, when we do jump up into the playoffs, every match will be a best of 5. So there is no middle ground, no best of 3s. From trying to score a singular point to try and make it to the playoffs, you then play long haul MLBB, which is great because we just are in the wake of another major international event that you were a part of, Lofel. And would you say that the meta is still in flux, or do we kind of have a good picture? Is MLBB solved at this point in the game?
During that event, I said it was solved. But here's the thing. Every international event, you will see its own pocket meta develop. And I feel like the difference is the meta, almost everything can be used, right? But I do have this one set of rule in this current meta, which is everyone has to contribute in damage at least a little bit. Because so far, every single team that tries to go for a solo carry, right, being like a protect the president, it's a very difficult comp to accomplish because once you know that playstyle, pick up a Lapu, pick up a Lancelot,
Yuzhong?
a Yuzong,
Dive
a
him?
Hayabusa, just like have 1 or 2 divers, and the comp is dead. So I feel like in terms of the heroes, it's going to be quite open. But in terms of the playstyle, you got to make sure that the damage profile has a nice spread.
I agree. I don't think tentpole strategies work, not for the longest time. And it is much better to spread it out. Now, if there is one tentpole strategy that might work, is a Yi Sun-shin-centric fighter side lane comp.
Yep.
That's the only thing that works. But even then, when you look at it, when you dig deep into the actual science and the mathematics of damage, those side laners deal a good amount of damage. I'm talking about, again, you mentioned the Lapu Lapu, the Yuzhong, especially early to mid, the CC.
TC, the Arlets of the world.
Yep. Throwing an Arlet into this gold lane might work these days. An Esmeralda, too.
And I got to say, in terms of the bans, the mids are always good, but the roamers are actually getting the highest of priority because right now, top of the standings is honestly Grok. And then below that
Must
is
ban.
Gatot Kacha. So we see teams opting for a first pick Grok, first pick Gatot. So once both gets banned, then we start to see a bit of flavor.
Yeah, even in Rome, you have solid damage dealers. I'm looking at the likes of a Khalid,
Yeah.
a Hilda,
Show damage.
Cho damage. So you're right. Some things you have to approach with caution. Again, building tentpole, having a singular hero or a comp that works around a singular line of play. But also, it's wide open. It's literally being handed a piece of paper and practicing origami.
Yeah, but if we're going to talk about the matchup between Thailand going up against Timor-Leste, because I did see some matches of both teams, of course not super recently, but like say a month before, Timor-Leste does have a lot of influence from Indonesia where they like to play tempo. They want to
yes.
bring the fight over to you. But Thailand, every single time I see them play, they prefer going back to the traditional marksman, something like a Claude, right? So they want a good balance. Like, okay, jungler, your job is to make sure their mid game is under control. Late game, it's all about the marksman, right? So it's nice to see a potential difference in terms of the win condition where one wants fast, one wants to stall out the game.
Yeah, historically, Timor-Leste has dug deep into bigger MLBB ecosystems and try to get coaching help from other regions, one of them being Indonesia. And for Thailand, I'm not surprised that they go back to such traditional approaches. Again, they are the very first MSC champions historically in MLBB history. They won in Indonesia 2017, and that was a team called I Do Not Sleep. It's nice to be finally on the ground where one of the first big names of MLBB came from. And here they might try to make a play once more to greater heights, to be part of that line of names when you say MLBB esports.
The only thing is, in this current meta, there's only really 3 heroes that is pretty good in the gold lane, and one of them is easier to deal with. So the Granger, the Harif, and now creeping back into the meta is actually the Natan, which can work, but again, it's easy to target, especially when the Yuzong is there, when the Lapu is there, and that's why I'm actually thinking in this tournament, we're going to see a lot of Yuzong bans. I feel like Lapu is very team specific. If you know that team is really good on the Lapu, then just like, okay, we're going to let go of the Lapu. The Yuzong, we'll see. We might pick it up early.
Yeah, so these are the 3 traditional gold laners.
Exactly, yeah.
If you go down the avenue and you kind of double take and think of fighters, then it opens up even more. You throw an Esmeralda, throw it up against the Harith.
Even Lapu I've seen in the goal for quite a while.
Correct. Yeah, you get a Lapu. We've even seen things as crazy as an X-Borg or a Uranus in the gold lane.
That's not going to be crazy for Malaysia because that's basically the spam that Loliel did. As long as the Xbox is not bad, he's going to keep on using it.
Again, in the past month, I've even seen a Hellkurt Gold.
Hellkurt EXP, though.
There you go.
Hey,
See,
hey.
Momo will not say no. Momo is in this same tournament.
Can I just say, it baffles me. A level 2 Hellkurt can burst a Lapu. I mean, like, they're both level 2, but still, it's like, I was surprised. Speaking of surprises, we'll see on the matches they'll be playing for today. According to the schedule, we will be seeing 2 Philippine games going up against Laos as well as Singapore.
Ooh.
Singapore, I do want to see how they have been developing because I heard that the coach for them is Coach Zace, which has been around for a very long time, which is very interesting in his career.
Literally the first world champion.
Exactly. In his career in SEA Games, he has coached 2 different countries, Indonesia and now Singapore. So I do want to see if Singapore is able to, I would say, catch up in their neighboring regions. Because I got to say, in terms of development, at least here in Southeast Asia, it has been very fast to the point where I feel like it's kind of hard to catch up, even for us casters.
Yeah, Singapore has always been in flux. They've been such an interesting region to study ever since the split from MYSG in early 2021. So with that, hey, maybe this could be the start of a new peak, a new spike in Singaporean MLBB. What about a win against the Philippines? How about it? I think even a singular point, even putting into jeopardy the Philippines' placement in Group B would be a statement for Singaporean MLBB.
I mean, Group B, we got Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore, 4 regions or 4 countries that has an MPL, and Laos. And the thing is,
All that Laos has is the MCC.
but they're legit, man. Like, Laos is legit. Looking at Group A, you have Myanmar, Thailand, Timor-Leste, as well as Vietnam. I would say Myanmar, Vietnam are the more known names that we've seen quite a lot internationally. So probably a little bit more pressure on them to perform during the SEA Games.
Yeah. I think the pressure is
I mean, for the host country as well, you know.
For
Thailand-
sure,
Thailand
yes.
to do well.
Yeah. So now that you mentioned it, it's those 2 I think that are coming through groups.
Well, we'll definitely have to see because I feel like Thailand going up against Timor-Leste, this will really set things up because we got to consider that at Group A, this have 4 teams and only 3 teams will let through. So very small,
Oh yeah.
right, very small. What would you call it? Like,
Margin of error.
thank you very much. Very small margin of error. Losing 1 game feels bigger than 1 game.
Yeah, that 1 game could be the difference between having to play a best of 5 to make it to the semis or just dropping out of the tournament entirely.
Yeah. So I feel like for Group A, it is going to be quite intense.
Yeah, it's different kinds of stakes. People will keep saying, us included, that Group B is the group of death. But even in Group A, you have to consider that 1 wrong step could put you in the playoffs, yes, but might as well just take you out of medal contention.
And at that point, the mental of the players really has to be kept in check. This is where the managers as well as the coaches really have to come in. It's like, yeah, we lost. We just don't lose any time anymore, and we'll make it through, you know, because in a group that there's only 4 teams and 3 will get through, you can't help but feel defeated, even just losing 1 best of 2.
If anything, it's worse if you're the one who don't make it from that group of 4. In a group of 5, it's like, yeah, you know, it was a tight group. It was really difficult, but to be the one out of the 4, that's gotta be that weighing, inevitable feeling of defeat. When you lose your first best of 2, I think that's when it really sinks in because I only have 2 matches left.
Yep. And over here, I would like to say thank you to everyone. We saw the players did go up on stage, so we're just waiting for everyone to get ready. We appreciate your patience. Kun Krap. And this best of 2 between Thailand and Timor-Leste. I just feel like the bands coming in, it really should just focus on those divers, especially coming in from Thailand, considering the fact that they do want to play a more extended game.
Yep.
Even if they're first pick, I would say they might prefer something like a Gatot so that you can counter engage if anyone does jump in. Probably ban out against Timor-Leste. That's the thing that I don't know. I don't know whether they prefer the Lapo or Yuzong because both are pretty they do the same thing just a bit differently, you know?
Yeah. I'd even say the Baxia.
Oh yes.
It's
you
weird
cannot
that
let go of the box.
we didn't mention the Baxia.
Yeah.
It's solid flex. You can put it in like 3 different positions on the map.
I saw a draft. The opening pick was Grok, Baxia, Eve.
Somebody made a mistake.
There should not be an. Okay, do you want me to say the order? So Grok first pick, and opponents picks up Uranus Cho.
Okay, sure.
And then you know,
Baxia Eve.
Baxia Eve.
I wouldn't be even surprised if it was Baxia first.
Yeah.
And then
Either or.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like personally for me, Baxia, Grok, and Eve. That's deadly because basically all 3 can stop you from moving.
Yeah.
Right. The Grok with the wall, the stun from the Baxia, and then the RWM.
If anything, it's the Eve who's the most fragile of the 3. It's the one that I would have put in the second pick of the first phase. The Grok and the Baxia, no question. If it was up to me, I would have seen Baxia here, Grok something here, at least. But you know, to give both.
Let me just let you know, just a bit more context. In the previous World Championship or International Championship, depending on what you prefer, in the entire tournament, Eve lost only 3 times or 4 times.
And she was in demand. She was hot.
She was hot. She was basically second pick all the time. And the Eve, more likely than not, across the men division, the open division, and the women division, all across, only have like 4 losses. So
Collectively.
That speaks to how strong Eve is currently in the meta.
I think
the buff where when she uses her skills, she gets a shield. That's a big help.
Yeah.
Dealing with all these assassins.
Yeah, puts her square right into the place of battle mage.
Exactly.
Like she's willing to get in there. Plus the fact that she's still ranged. Like she has a longer reach than most heroes. I'd say even more than Farsa, unless Farsa's using her ult.
Yeah, the only one that really outrages her is Farsa and Ovaria.
When
Everyone else is in range, which, by the way, looks like we are jumping into the pick and bans here. Looks like
first ban by Thailand too.
Yeah, Thailand is first pick, Timor-Leste is second, and they already banned out the Eve, the Lance, as well as the Fanny, which again, you kind of want to make sure dives is not there.
Got a question, LaFell.
Go ahead
to consider. Whoa. What is the map
Oh yeah, that's true.
that has to influence why, you know, I mean, to some extent, like, 1 or 2 of the map choices should influence at least how they draft, right? Forget about broken walls. Forget about
Personally, for me, based on the previous tournament, the one that really influences the draft
Rivers.
actually no, it was actually Broken Walls,
What?
as well as the
Flying Clouds.
No, Dangerous Grass.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Especially for after the changes made to Hilda,
Yep.
Dangerous
Oh,
Grass
no.
and Hilda, and those damaged
And
toes.
what's weird is Hilda got buffed in the most recent patch.
Exactly, yeah.
What is going on? All right, we are wrapping up the first phase. Going into the second phase goes the bans. Real quick, let's run through them. Yusin Shin and X-Borg taken out. No jungler, nor fixed gold laner for Timor-Leste just yet. While Timor-Leste takes out the Yu Zhong. Is that another XP laner they're going to ban out?
At this point,
Yes. CC still out in the wild.
maybe even consider Urt and Arlet.
Arlet's still out in the wild.
Oh,
Glue-
Esme.
Glue Esme still
Yeah.
out.
Because right now, I kind of feel like for Timor-Leste, they're in a way showing their hand, which is they want a lot of control, right? Having the Gatot as well as the Jushin. Make sure that you have sort of a prio going into the mid, and the Lapu is able to dive towards the back.
There's
So
the
the
CC.
Kimi has to be careful. But now that Thailand does secure that Ruby, which most probably will be Ruby Gold, I wonder if Timor-Leste, do they still want to get an assassin, considering that the Hilda is on the opposite side of the map?
Yep. We got 2 picks coming in from Timor-Leste here. I think this first phase for Timor-Leste is very good. Very strong mid trio, especially with that Fredrin lock-in and just clean damage coming in from the Granger.
It looks like a bit of change. It was actually Timor-Leste on first pick
Yep.
and Thailand on second. So Timor-Leste here basically playing this protect comp, protect the president. But since Lapu actually does quite a lot of damage, it doesn't really feel like it. It feels like there's 2 dedicated damage dealers, and the controllers coming in from Timor-Leste
Correct.
actually do quite a lot, especially if the Jushin opts for a Sky Piercer.
Yeah, my only real problem is if Thailand invests in like an odd Dreadnought armor here and there,
Yep.
damage sources from Timor-Leste is neutralized just like that.
And
Because
now,
again, you mentioned the Sky Piercer on Jushin, right? But that's not magic damage.
True.
So a Dreadnought will stop all the burst from proccing the Sky Piercer. There's the Esmeralda.
and the thing is, Timor-Leste, I'm pretty sure they pick up the Jushin and the Gato to deal with the Hilda, because the Hilda was an early show, right? And the Jushin can handle the Haya. The Haya can attack her, but she's pretty tanky herself. So finishing up the draft here, looks like Thailand is going for more meta. They do have a marksman, but it is in mid. They want to have a lot of bodies moving into the front, which is going to feel good for both the Fredrin as well as the Gatot, because they do like these melee battles. It's just that the Kimi really has to be careful of that Lapu. So
Correct.
that's going to be the predator between the two.
Yep.
The wing
So
con.
despite Thailand having, let's say, a more stable and historied run in MLBB esports, I think Timor-Leste drafted very well. This is a very impressive draft by Timor-Leste, and I do believe we are jumping into the map.
Yep. As you guys can see, the
Welcome to
players
Mobile
are
Legends.
jumping in, and this is going to be game number 1. Timor-Leste going up against Thailand. And for now, looking at the junglers, looks like they are starting on the same side of the map. Looks like they will both be contesting that Little Wonder.
Yep, this is a mirrored start. Orange for Timor-Leste, purple for Thailand. And it's mid late, they both have priority. It's just a different kind of priority. More damage to Thailand, more control from Timor-Leste. In comes the Pia. He got very low, unrevitalized. Can he survive? Yes, the ball is fine. And a quick poke on Thailand. And they back off. Close call.
A very early rotation they were coming in from Kaya Grid on this Esmeralda. But all the while, the Lapu is re-farming, and this is where I would say the advantage and disadvantage of an Esmeralda. You have a pretty good lane phase going up against the Lapu, and then it comes to your choice, whether you want to stay or you want to rotate. Both has its, every player treats it very differently.
Yep, but I think it's Ravi's best interest to actually get out of there, unlock himself first. Comes on this fight, yeah, Kaya can just eat up all the shields, and then if the wave gets out of hand, then the Lapu Lapu lost its main advantage. Now bottom though, let's talk about the gold lane match.
I would say the goal lane matchup here, something that has to be very careful. That I will and with the flicker,
Uh-oh. You see here, Dr. Nai jumps onto Adong, wants to back off, pops that regen. Liban looking for a con Sapino. This is one of the main strengths that have with a marksman against a fighter. Oh, hold up, insane shadows. Madera already on the peak of his health. Dia backs up and not pull the trigger. Another revitalize from Rivan. Kaya Grid gets finish. Madera finds one another. Goes the Timor-Leste. Double kill for the spread. Beeline to the turn.
and all the while Ravi is preventing Thailand from getting the turnover. Look at that, Thailand!
Nice on. Ravi, shadow on shadow.
Timor-Leste is controlling the map right now, getting an early double in mid, and then actually contesting for that turtle and getting it for themselves. Now Sabino looks like not just that, but look at that.
Oh no! Stranger to survive the damage coming in from 2 fighters from the brush. lethal from Thailand.
And this is again one of the reasons why playing a marksman in this current meta is going to be very difficult, because the goal, the nerf is actually quite big. You don't get your items as fast as you used to, and it's very gankable, man. Like the goal lane is very gankable at this point. Level 5 though.
Oh no, not looking good for the Diamonds. A shadow out. Sabino gets caught one more time.
So at this point, Thailand, they're equalizing, man. Like, yeah, they lost a bit, but getting 2 kills on Sabino, oh, that's huge. That's going to delay the high pitch, going to delay the hunt strike. And at that point, one of Timor-Leste's win condition has been slowed down significantly.
All right, so Timor-Leste winning 2/3 of the map, but the 1/3, the one weak spot they forgot to protect, has been beaten down twice. Sabino is having a really bad time in the gold lane. 2 deaths in the first 3.5 minutes of the game. Not a good look.
Although I do have to say, the Romer, Naganai has to be careful if he gets one more kill. Yeah, after his death, he'll give shut down goal.
Uh-oh. That'll get. Finds it. I'm affected. Riva pops revitalized. Sabino looking for vengeance. Looking to get 1 kill. Naganai able to get a shield up, heal. No kills. Down bottom on top though. Ravi 2v1. He's fine.
Yeah, unfortunately, Pia did not hit the shadow inside of Robbie. In terms of goal difference, looks like Timor-Leste is up by about 1,000 here. Not that big of a difference in 4 minutes of the game. At this point, Team Thailand, they got to be careful. Timor-Leste doesn't have that much damage.
Shadow man. On here. Looking for the choke. There's the post. Oh, big skirmish in mid. Damage dropped down. AOG, no one home. Can Ravi survive? Lapu-Lapu flickers back. False engage. They fly at the club, but I go down first. Save it out for Ivan. Oh, no, the appraiser. Yes, Ivarin. 2 for 1 the trade. Timor-Leste poised to get another turtle. Narubet barely survives. Shadow deal. I'm offended. Ravi and Sabino taking a lot of damage. Ravi gets a lot of giant pitfalls.
Talk about a bloodbath here, Leo. Looks like a 5-minute game. And I believe like 1 out of that 5 minutes, it was just a brawl there at mid, trading blows for blows. The fact that Ravi was able to get 2 ults in that one fight, that's huge. But now Ravi gets found out by Pia. Pia dealing quite a bit of damage. It looks like does not have the OG shadow kill and not fully commit, especially because Rebound is there.
Lavelle, you mentioned before this all started how Timor-Leste has Indonesian influence. I see it. They keep fighting and they're so much better on conversions. Instead of little skirmishes, they like the big time payoffs.
They have this mindset, it's like, yes, I have no HP, but I can outplay this. In a way.
As long as it's not 0.
Exactly, but speaking of which...
Where'd that happen?
Well, it happened down bot. Robbie basically had no HP. He tried to use his hit to essentially get some healing done, but, you know, I tried to outplay that. It didn't happen.
That's what we're talking about. As long as it's not 0, but it hit 0, and Robbie got punished.
And now Timor-Leste 6 kills to 4. The difference of gold has really trickled down quite a bit. Narubet having quite a good game, 2-0-1 on this Ruby. Let's look at the build. I feel like at this point, might as well have 2 with that Jive.
Yep, you have to make up for the fact that damage is the name of the game, and if you cannot play on what your opponent's playing off of, which is again crowd control, then make up for it in damage, because you can't rely on Sivarin. Sivarin has died twice already. Got a good traction pulse, but no follow through, so at least burst down the targets you get on.
Deny has been found out. It looks like it's going to get out of there. In terms of rotation here, nothing successful right now for both teams, because even looking at the turtle, looks like it's about 50 seconds away.
Yep, final turtle.
And Team Thailand, they're closer at the spot here, but no, looks like they are going to back off just a little bit, giving it over back to Timor-Leste. And I feel like Timor-Leste, with how they've been playing, they can actually go for it.
Oh my lord, Sabino! Gets jumped on, killed one more time. Narubet gets him. That was an opening that Thailand set up. Timor-Leste wasn't ready for it.
Madeira is there, still got to look for the turtle. You lost one member, you still got to contend for this one.
Diamond dumped on the 2. Shields on Ravi, shields on Madeira. Adong and Rivan holding down mid, not letting that wave come through. I like that they're covering their bases. Solid macro from Timor-Leste.
Still a half-range fighter, goes on to Lapi down bot. The turtle, 2 bars left.
It's the retribution battle. Adong with the beacon. Sky Piercer on the Sabino. Damage looking for it. Narobet still alive. Does not go down as quickly. Gets shut down by Adong. Madera still up. Madera falls. Sivarin gets a good job. Robbie finds Sivarin. And it's a 2 for 2. Shadow kill. Sabino survives. Shares the damage along. The Flicker, the bravest fighter, finds Shayakrit. Do they stuck the knife? Stuck the knife jumping in from the back. Shayakrit able to jump through. Starboard. Saves him. Not enough. Adong gets him down.
And all the while, somehow Sabino still survives, even though he got chased by Tuck the 9. And at this point, for both teams, they're basically again like trading blows for blows. Let's see who's all finishes first.
Tuck the 9 gets caught one more time. Not enough to get another stack for Adong to choke him out. So Phil, the first thing you mentioned was surprised you the most. How did Sabino survive?
Hey, he might not now, because Sabino has to get away. Not a bad, not enough damage just yet. And Sabino, he does have that Sky Piercer, but it's really not going to mean anything if you don't get kills, you don't get the stack. Dia, though, now having that War Axe, and consider the fact that all the fights have been extended, that War Axe is going to be huge for the time.
Yep. And Dia has yet to get kills as well. Ravi commits the bravest fighter, get a little bit of health, a little bit of shielding to survive the 2v1 assault. Thailand rotates out. Weird decisions being made by both Timor-Leste and Thailand, but we're in a position wherein Timor-Leste can afford it, Thailand can't.
I think at this point, Cut the 9 is more like a rather than Romer. I wouldn't be surprised if he has like a main just to make sure that he can one-shot these going through. And
I think a little baby hammer wouldn't be a problem either. Like if that's all that Takman can afford, Hammer should be a difference maker, even trying to take down and shut down Adong. Ooh, by the way, I feel like these are the two carries, Adong and Madera. These are the two killers for Timor-Leste, not Sabino.
I'm not actually calling Thailand. It's very hard for you to take down these shit. This Fishman does a thought. There's a Brethren. And there's a Lapu. How are you gonna get out to this?
And Adong has barely used that flicker. Still off the cooldown. Watch the scope on the Taklanai. Kayakris looking to come from the back. Lord at about a fifth of its health. In comes Narobet. Pia as well. Sabino backing up. AOD. This is the Hayabusa. Revitalized. Dropped in. Lasting. The fight a little longer. Taklanai finds Sabino. Pia does fall. 1-for-1 the trade. A brazen rat puts Sivarin down no further of its health. Kayakris down below Adong. Takes down. Blue ship and takes him down. 3 for 2, 4 for 2. Thailand winning. Ravi looking to survive one more kill. Does not find Taklanai juking through the bushes. For the first time in a while, Thailand gets a win in the game.
You know what, Leo? This is when hold on to fight the Casinos. They really want his kill. Ravi trying desperately to get back to safe ground. Continue. And here's the thing. All the Hilda haters will take this clip and show like, are you sure you didn't want to buff this hero? This he really needed. With Ravi surviving
3-1. How is Ravi surviving this? Underneath the Esmeralda are Ruby and the Hilda. Hey, there are Hilda haters out there.
Yeah, there are.
And they're okay to be wrong. They're allowed to be wrong.
Now look at this. The Lord has to start out by Timor-Leste again. You gotta look at the Hilda, man.
Watch out. Traction falls. Got enough to stop Madera from retribution, securing the Lord. Taklanai falls under the Appraiser's wrath. Adong looking for a big show. Crimson Beacon used up. Timor-Leste happy with what they got. Even if they're down to just 1,000 gold up, they still get the big win.
Narobet, very good item pickup here. Getting that Sea Halberd will make sure that Narobet himself can actually deal the damage because there's so much sustain coming in from Timor-Leste. Because I feel like the last fight against Ravi, even they're like, okay, how is this guy not dying? Right? Someone needs some kind of anti-heal here.
And where is it? Who's picking it up? Lord smashes through that tier 1 in mid. Timor-Leste looking to make up for some lost time, converting through the map. Another crash in for that Lord. Thailand takes care of it.
Thailand, at this point, they have no problem dealing with so far 0-4-5. So at this point, you're probably not too worried about the Razor. Now you gotta change your focus a little bit. You know, it's like, let's put up here because the era, all the tons of different has.
Red team turret has
really
been
a problem
destroyed.
for
Blue team turret has been destroyed.
And it's those heroes still that I don't think will lose utility even in the late game. Like these heroes, the Lapu-Lapu, the Zushin, and the Fred, they're still as good as they are from the early to mid. So that's why I think Timor-Leste had a solid draft. It's just so much easier to execute, and that's why they got all of the major objectives in this 13-minute game so far.
And it might be late because this team fight was quite a while back. But Sivert on this Kimmy has to be careful because there was a point where with basically no HP, flickering forward, allowing an opportunity for Robbie to get a kill onto this Kimmy, also got to be careful because, like it or not, you are one of the main win conditions for Thailand at this point. And you don't need to kill someone. As long as you're alive, you're always a threat.
Yeah, and I think it's that main principle that I think Team Thailand needs to refocus on.
Red
It's
team
not too
turret
late,
has
it's not
been
over just
destroyed.
yet, but I agree. Sivan has to protect himself better.
has been
Tia has to
destroyed.
get in better ults, because still not a single kill on this Hayabusa. Look, Narumet and Pia are struggling and Ravi alone.
To be fair, very difficult to get kills against a very sturdy lineup that Timor-Leste is showing up here. Sabino now with the Window Major as well. It's going to be much difficult for Pia. Basically, he has to choose his battle because I feel like Team Thailand needs to stop trying to kill the Lapu when there are minions. Like, make sure the minions are not there, and then try to fight because unfair advantage for all fighters when the minions are there.
Weirdly enough, you mean their own minions.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what Ravi feeds off of.
Exactly.
So, counterintuitive as it is, yeah, extra units don't fare well against a spell vamping hero like Lapu Lapu. Lord up in about 10, and Timor-Leste is setting up a 10.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Team Thailand as well.
Who's gonna check first?
Exactly. Adong is showing us even Sabino, but it should be safe.
Oh, Tio! Over the Pia! And they're looking to answer back. Fracture Pulse, putting everyone in the sight of Team Thailand. Adong Crimson Beacon out. Ravi looking to take down Pia. Pia with a shot and shadow kill! Adong juggles the damage around him in Madeira. One major resource down for Team Thailand, and now Timor-Leste grabs back.
And now Pia is able to get away because again, this is the river map. Sivert does have more penetration over the Divine Blade. So Team Thailand should have more damage at this point.
Oh, in comes Pia. Backs out with a shadow. Ranger grab. Shadow get down low. Gives him his health. Pops the shield. Gets some healing. And Mindful there. One more hit. That's it. Already will survive another champion buff. AOG, no one home. Ravi might fall. Now Pia gets another.
And around 50 minutes, Pia's trying to get online. But looks like Sivert gets taunted. Should be able to get out of there. But all the while, the fight's so long, even engineers running.
Another Ranger grab. 1-for-1. Madeira for Sivarin. And Thailand is just forcing Timor-Leste into dog boxing. The concept of putting your opponent where they're not comfortable and playing a different style. When you're that close and you're forcing just basic attacks instead of full-on utility and crowd control, Thailand wins.
Talk about not backing down. As long as he'll have some kind of HP, I'm staying into the fight. Everybody's there. Looks like Takanai knows he's there. Looks like Unbreakable is not going to be hitting on this Hilda Pia now. This have that Blade of Despair.
Blue team turret has been destroyed.
Looking like they're in a pretty good position to be able to take game
Red
number
team
one.
turret
But
has been
Timor-Leste,
destroyed.
with this draft, it's going to be pretty difficult for Thailand to actually force an end. Because again, a lot of utility, and I would argue quite good basically with the Lapo as well as the Ranger as well.
But you're looking at mid, the usual culprit for wave clear. It's pretty bad. A Zushin cannot clear as good as even most fighters. Now the Lord coming through top lane. Timor-Leste doing their best to defend. Ravi misses the mark, goes in way too deep. Narumet does not have enough of an ice field to survive. Flickers back, looking to get a few heals before he jumps back in. Ando Crimson Beacon back. Timor-Leste able to take care of the Lord. They're good. They don't lose their inhibitors unless bottom lane.
Team turret has been destroyed.
Very clutch, able to pull the minions to the side, but that's one hit away.
Blue team base
Like
turret
they're
has been
actually
destroyed.
Rivan. Oh, they do get it. They lose it up top. And now they're dogpiling on
Blue
to
team
that
base
Esmeralda
turret has been
giant grid.
destroyed.
Purifying out. And they lose bottom two. What's a Katon gonna do against a wave?
And if you think Thailand was sustainable in the previous fight, more now. Concentrated energy for Simmering. Now Revenge getting that endless battle. So at this point, Timor-Leste, basically both teams, they're telling their opponents like, hey, I can do this all day.
They literally can.
They literally
Both
can.
lineups have a solid amount of sustainability, spellback, lifesteal. Again, the question is who has the anti-heal? Who's picking up the Sea Halberd? Who's picking up the Dominus Ices, the glowing ones? Because, yes, you can get it, right? You can have it. Not of it really has one here. But how you get it on them, I think that's the key to how Thailand came back from that one ambush, right? They were the ones with the initiative. They put Timor-Leste in a weird position that they can't use their crowd control.
The weird conditioning for both teams is that they want to catch someone. They want to isolate someone. But both drafts want to stick together. So it's at the point where like the Hilda's like, okay, let me get onto Sabino and hope no one else is there. And for Timor-Leste, they're like, let me get onto Siverit and hope no one else is there. But there's always someone there.
If anything, it's Team Thailand who is okay with splitting up. Timor-Leste is the one who needs to play the escort operation. You know, like you have to watch out for Adong, you have to watch out for Sabino. Anyone else can be a man for themselves. Team Thailand, though, oh yeah, Kakana can come from the one angle, Narubet can come from the other. Hell, Pia can come in late. Like that's how much better it is for Thailand to be off time.
If I was Timor-Leste, I would be like, how comfortable are you going to a 1v5 fight?
Because that's what will work. That's
Exactly.
the only thing that might work.
You go in, we try to get the Lord, try to exit and use the Lord in our advantage and try to get something. Because in a fight that lasts forever, you kind of need someone to just bite the bullet and say, do this forever while we do something.
The dirty job, someone's got to do it. Ravi's the one who can afford to do so. In comes Rivan, another possible option, but he has to save his Revitalize for when the soft is needed. Madera put down about half, and they still have to take care of the waves. Look at this, a crash wave of him. Madera down to a third of his health. A lot of damage from Sivarin. Top angle of this fight. Kayak been compromising. Ravi gets on the 3. Look at the back line. AOG trying to save Sabino. Sabino's still alive. Where's the Revitalize? Down goes Ravi. They do trade out with the immortality. Pia! And they feed the kill over to Sabino. Top the 9. Barely alive. Ravi still holding out. Madera going through. Oh no, this is tough. 1-for-1 the trade. No retribution for Thailand though.
At this point, it comes to the question of Thailand who really wants to invest that much onto this Road Ranger because he's not having a good game. I would argue better kill up the first. He's the retribution holder. He's the one causing problems in the fight. If Madera is not there, there's no way they can contest for the Lord. And if someone tries to stall it out, you can take your time.
Makes me wonder what Madera building.
Hoping to see the itemization soon, but look at this, Leo. This is the opening match of the main broadcast, and we're already 21 minutes in, 14 kills to 15. Goal difference, there's none. And Tuck the 9 finally is like, okay, you know what? I need to finish someone off. Gets that,
The BOH.
thank you very much.
Blade of Heptasis, the
Blade
ball.
of Heptasis. The ball. Severin having that support will make it much more difficult for Ravi, Madera, and Revan to actually stay alive against that devour.
Yep, one of the few physical basic attack items you put on a Kimi. Because, yeah, despite her being a mage or a marksman that uses magical damage, she still benefits off of the enhanced attacks. Madera going up against Naruto here. Here comes Pia. Pop the Quad Shadow. Kaya Chris gets knocked up. I don't have damage coming from Timor. Let's see better than that. Naruto comes in. I'm offended. And there's Ravi. Compromising Sivarin, they pop Naruto, almost takes him down. Should be a shadow kill. Already used up by Pia. And they're looking to finish him off. Naruto and shot the knife. Down goes Adolf. What I'm talking about, positioning is key. Ravi pushing Sivarin back. Sabino and Rivan in the sight of Shaya. Now Sabino falls. The super on the trade. Looking back, defensive AOG from Timor-Leste as they send dive lands back into the Lord's pit. This is all now.
Like I said, looking at the start of the game, he's the real EXP winner. He's the assassin. He's the one that will chase you down. He's the predator at this point. 6, 2, and 7. This is the meta that we are living in, folks. The roamer has to do damage. Because let me tell you, a tank that can kill you is pretty scary.
Never been afraid of a wall just boxing you out of it. And that's what a Hilda is. Oh my lord, they're in the base. Mid-lane falls. And there's still a lord coming from up top. There's 3 defenders for Timor-Leste. They might lose one. Ravi still alive. Revan Gets his immortality pop. I think we're just waiting for the inevitable Lafell. In comes Adom. POG 5-4. Take him down. Zimmery falls. They do trade out for Rivan. And it's a 4v4 plus the Lord.
That's Thailand right now. They're trying hard. They don't have range damage at this point. It's hard to see.
Oh, shadow kill. Pops. Adom's immortality. Tuck the knife jumping in. And that's it. Team Thailand. Draw first blood.
And that's going to be exciting for the people of Thailand here. Securing the fourth victory in this best of two. Getting the fourth point here in Group A.
Took a while, but alas, if you're able to split up Timor-Leste's lineup that's so reliant on escorting their cores, I'm talking about that Granger, I'm talking about that Zushin. You take them away from that solid body that has so much crowd control, so much sustainability, it's over.
And this shows where the meta is really shifting, because imagine that, Leo. Over 20 minutes and the marksman is not able to shine, right? That's the difference here in this current meta. A lot of the items that the marksmen like to use, unfortunately, has been nerfed quite a bit to the point where the tankiness of your opponents can't be taken down. So I believe that marksmen can still be used, but it's a very niche situation.
I'd say Sabino might want to try Fighter Gold. Just to be safe, you know, like throw a Esmeralda on him, throw a CC. Even a CC feels a little soft. I'd say something that can just hunker down because it's solid. I think their XP lane, their mid trio, they got something working there. It's just that the gold was so vulnerable that it gave enough farm and resources over to Team Thailand to get the comeback. Because I'll tell you now, 2/3 of the game belong to Timor-Leste.
Yeah, and I feel like for them to do that is we got to see if Timor-Leste, Madeira, is comfortable on the assassins, because I feel like if you go for a Fredrin and then go for a 2-fighter,
Yeah.
you're gonna hope for Jushin to carry the damage.
It's a non-starter.
That's not happening unless basically both fighters just go full damage. But at that point, there are risks there. But either way, congratulations to Thailand. Basically utilizing the meta right now, Ruby Gold, having the Esmeralda in the EXP. Hilda, bro. And that was not even dangerous grass. That was the river.
Yep. Hilda is the MVP, I'll tell you now. Great performance coming in from Takdanai. Even I'm afraid. I'll check every bush I walk through here in Bangkok. It's just like, Takdanai might be hiding over there.
Let me see. Sawadika.
Sorry,
Sorry, it's your bush.
okay.
Your bush. I know. There's a different toilet. I'll go there.
I didn't mean to walk in here. I'm sorry. It's just, regardless, MVP, I'll give my personal nod to Takdanai.
Same. Because it's really quite a big game changer, right? The fact that you're able to establish control, because we got to remind ourselves, we're going to be looking at the highlights later on, but at the start of the game, Timor-Leste looked pretty good, getting a double kill,
For sure.
as well as getting the turtle, but then equalizing back where Takdanai camped the gold lane, getting 2 kills off the Granger, and at that point, even Timor-Leste is like, hold on. Do we go for what we intended, or do we switch up the game plan and actually help out the Granger? And that's where you see the split.
And they didn't.
The Gata could not move.
Yeah, it wasn't worth it.
Exactly. So I really feel like it was good on Thailand, where Takdanai was able to make Timor-Leste make a decision, and at the end of the day, Timor-Leste could not make the correct decision at that point.
Yeah, on a mathematical scale, let's put it at this: the roamer was traded for the gold lane, and it wasn't worth it. Like, think about that. All the Hilda needed to do was, I'll just camp over here. I'll make sure Sabino gets no farm. Go ahead, Narobet, build up the rest of the map. Like, Pia was. Here's how bad it was. Pia wasn't getting kills, and Pia was still able to perform in the late game.
It was at the point he just showed his face. He's like, I'm just letting you know I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
Do with that information what you will.
Hello, Sabino.
I will only attack you if I feel like it, right? Because many a times, turtle fight, lord fight, getting into the faces of Sabino and Adong and just saying like, I am here, just to let you know.
Yep.
And at that point, forcing Timor-Leste to make a decision. Do we go for this Hilda? And if you go for the Hilda, that's a roamer. That's a roamer.
It wasn't worth it. The fact that for Takdanai, it was enough that Sabino was scared. It was enough that Sabino was out of range to deal the damage that Timor-Leste needed from this Granger. It just added, like, it was just a bonus for Thailand that Sabino kept dying. Like, that was just icing on the cake.
Something to note, Timor-Leste was able to deal with Severin on that Kimi, so the Kimi wasn't that big of a threat, but imagine if they weren't able to do that. Pia as well, like you said, at the later stages of the game, I believe it was around 15, 16 minutes, then we start seeing kills getting on to Pia. But again, at that point, I feel like they understood they need some kind of anti-heal, so more members actually invested in that. And after that point, then the damage, you can start to see it a little bit.
And I'm hoping that in the post game, when we try to break things down, we see exactly why the anti-heal was the game changer. Because I really feel like this Fredrin was softer than usual. I think the Fredrin relied too much on the Appraiser's Wrath to get the sustainability we're used to seeing from a Fred.
I do agree, because in terms of the items being picked up, I only remember seeing him picking up a brute force. I don't know what are the other items, and we don't know the emblem build as well, because we've seen support, we've seen tank, but I do feel like both are pretty tanky. Because look at this, considering the fact that the opponents are mainly heroes, you would thought a Fredrin would be able to survive a little bit longer.
Yeah. He actually likes that, but only if he's built a certain way. And I'll tell you now, it's not wrong if you want to invest a little bit more damage on a Fred, because I've seen this in rank.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm the one who gets
It
ruined
works.
by it. Yeah,
The
but
bonk hurts.
yeah, but that's only if you play it right. So if your gold lane isn't exactly performing, then maybe it's a little too greedy to try that. That's what we're worried about, and that's why we want to see the items.
I would say I have a different mindset. I would say it's kind of worth it, because at that point, your team is saying, we need damage. And our goal leader is not giving that, so someone has to give it. And I was like, I know you want to be tanky, but how about you be tanky to survive?
This was such a missed opportunity. I really wanted that to be a good payoff for Team Timor-Leste, because how often do you get a 4-man AOG?
Here's what I say. How can you come back if you don't have the damage? Because as a roamer, plenty of times, I have a good set. And the thing is, my team did follow up.
Yep.
It just wasn't enough, right? And that's why I feel like Timor-Leste, they might have to change their approach here, because let me just say this. In the previous international tournament, Indonesia used an Obsidia in the face of an X-board. So marksman going up against a fighter. In that game, the Obsidia did not deal damage as well. So in this game, the Granger kind of feels that same wrath. And it's to the point where I'm worried, even if you change it up, use a Harif instead, might be the same set of problems. And mind you, the CC was open, so they could have actually gotten that much earlier. And even, yes, I agree, the CC is a bit softer.
Yeah.
Received quite a few nerfs. The latest one having less movement speed, so it's going to be difficult for you to maintain those stacks, but it's something. It's something.
It's better than dying 3 times in the first 3 minutes.
By Hilda. Which, to be fair, Hilda doesn't do a lot of damage.
We're talking about heroes that they could have picked. What if they should have first picked or banned the Hilda instead of the...
I think they would.
What was it? Is it
Okay,
what
so
was their
previously
first
they
pick?
banned out the Eve, Lance, and Fanny.
Yeah.
Right? Eve, Lance, and Fanny. And for Team Thailand, they banned out Uranus, the Boxia, and the Lunox.
Right.
So it did look like for...
It was a Lapu first pick. There you go.
Yes.
Timor-Leste really liked the Lapu Lapu.
So it does look like for Team Thailand, they wanted that Hilda. Like, they knew that was the pick that they were going for. So they banned out the Uranus as well as the Lunox and the Boxia. So a lot of frontline disruptors. I would say more so on the Lunox and Boxia. Uranus is just annoying in general. Although personally, I'm not a Uranus lover. I don't mind him. Just leave him be.
You don't love Uranus?
I mean, like, I think only junglers, especially using Shins, are annoyed by the Uranus. Everyone else, they're like...
Everyone else can now. Everyone else can
It's
deal
like,
with it.
He's there because he doesn't really provide that utility. Like, I'm more afraid of a Lapu, of a Yuzong,
Oh, yeah.
of a good Arlet,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
and a Uranus. So, that's personally for me. Some people might disagree,
So-
but I'm allowed to have my own opinions,
So this is a ban for the team that actually won. So it really isn't a problem. Like
And nothing burger.
Yeah, we're thinking more of what Timor-Leste can do, because that whole imbalance of power has cost them this game, because this really
Wait.
was very winnable.
I hope my notes is not wrong, but a Grok was just let through. right? The Grok was not
Eve,
meant. Eve, Lance, Fanny,
Yes.
Uranus,
Lunox,
Lunox, and
Baxia.
Baxia. So
You're right.
they could have even just first picked the Grok.
Of all the things we talked about pregame, Grok was the one that kind of just wasn't on the board for either team.
I guess the thing that we can say is that Timor-Leste kind of fumbled the first pick. Lapo is a good hero.
Hmm
I wonder if it's just to deny.
But the thing is, it wasn't much of a factor. Look, both of them are happy with the roamers that they got. You know, Gatot is where he needs to be. With the Revitalize, you can't put a Revitalize on Grok.
Yeah.
The Hilda is the MVP. You know what I mean? So maybe they just went into this game really not thinking about the Grok anyways.
It looks like the players are getting ready for game number 2. Look
Okay.
at I look at the damage, and this Hilda is assassin in the sense that she only did about 14% damage, which means that it was hyper focused on maybe like 1 or 2 heroes.
It's where it needed to be.
That's why I say just showing up.
It's not abundant, but it's where it needed to be.
Like most Hildas, they'll come up and just hit everyone. This one is like, I'm saving it.
Yep.
Fredrin, you're not my thing.
This is for someone else.
My axe is special.
It's for Sabino.
It's dedicated.
Hmm
And Sabino actually took 7% total damage of the entire team.
How much?
So 7% taken, not dealt.
7.
7% taken.
That's how soft he was.
7% of the entire team, and it was enough for him to die about
No,
like 5,
it's-
6 times.
Yeah, it's not about how soft that he was. It's just also how sustainable Timor-Leste's draft was. So,
I mean, like they fought forever. Like I really feel like it was like a 1-minute fight, a 2-minute fight. This is one of those where you're making a TikTok highlight, and you're like, okay, where do we start?
yeah, the music ran out.
Exactly.
It
But
looped.
we need a different cover for this one. So
It looped, and you're still fighting.
jumping into game number 2, if Thailand gets another win, securing 2 points here in Group A will make them fairly comfortable on being in top 3.
For sure.
Fairly
again,
comfortable.
We talked about this pre-game. The weight of these points and the difference of being in the first spot, skipping entirely that playoffs first stage and just jumping to the semifinals means a lot. So, again, Thailand, if they do beat Timor-Leste, they just have to worry about Myanmar and Vietnam from there. Because again, Myanmar and Vietnam are also huge regions. So, taking the 2 points from Timor-Leste clean helps with just, securing your placement.
But you know what will make it awkward?
What?
If Timor-Leste wins, it's a 1-1. Right?
And then that means Thailand has all the pressure in the world to 2-0 Myanmar or Vietnam.
Exactly. This is a group where if you go 1-1, say 2 different matches, I'm looking at a potential tiebreaker, right? Because here's the thing, usually it's pretty easy, like, oh, you win 2 matches in a group, you're good. And in this case, yes. But because it's a best of 2, it's not a best of 3, so the numbers, it can actually be quite even.
Yeah. Folks, this is assuming that the points were equally equal.
Yep.
And the tiebreaker categorically from provided by our league operations could not be broken. And then maybe games will be played then.
Not saying we will have it, but the potential is always there. So
Yeah. Such is the nature of best of 2.
such in the nature. So for Thailand at this point, if they secure 2-0 against Timor-Leste, and at that point, getting any wins or just if Timor-Leste lose other 2 games against Myanmar and Vietnam, that's basically it, right?
Yep.
Thailand is safe.
Yep.
At least top 3.
Group B, I think we need to check in on the other broadcasts and the other stages going on right now to see exactly how that group is doing, because I'm pretty sure there's a fair amount of eyeballs watching that too. I mean, you see Team Philippines in action, Team Malaysia, Team Indonesia, Team Singapore. Yeah, we talked about the promise of Team Singapore reaching new heights once again.
Yeah, forgive me. I am trying to check it out, but looks like a lot of conversation is going on in a lot of groups, so not going to be able to look it up. But
No real-time updates just yet.
no real-time updates just yet. I just know that the matches are done, but the score basically hasn't been updated to us. So, shout outs to all the other matches, but we got to focus on this one. And I feel like that should be significant amount of information